So at E3, Bethesda announced the Creation Club for Fallout 4 and Skyrim, a brand new revolutionary mod platform where you can use credits to acquire your favorite new mods. And the community, well, they revolted. Just a bit. Okay, maybe more than a little bit. Everybody definitely got the pitchforks out, so I thought I'd make a video talking about the Creation Club amongst other things in a level-headed manner. Talking just about the Creation Club would be a bit short-sighted. The Creation Club is just the latest product of a direction Bethesda has been taking for over 2 years now. So this is the perfect opportunity to broaden scope and look at what Bethesda is trying to do with mods. So a long time ago, mods for Bethesda games were only available on PC. You had to put in a bit of effort to install them. Then came Skyrim, and suddenly, you could use the Steam Workshop to install your mods with just a few clicks. Manually dropping files into your game folder or using external mod managers was no longer necessary. Bethesda was integrating mods into Steam to make the process of installing them easier, to make mods more accessible. But with more official integration comes content moderation. Nudity mods, not that I really give two shits about those, but they amongst others were not allowed on Steam. You see, before, mods were community modifications, and it was like the wild west. There were no rules, and there was no quality assurance. But with more official integration, those two things suddenly become a factor. Now some years later, in April of 2015, Bethesda, pretty much out of the blue, tried to introduce paid modding on PC for Skyrim through the Steam Workshop. Anyone could upload a mod to the Steam Workshop and put one of 3 price labels on it. Free, a set price, and pay whatever you want but with a minimum price. With Valve and/or Bethesda taking a generous 75% cut. So this was a complete shit show. People were stealing mods from the original authors left, right, and center and uploading them to the workshop to make a profit off of somebody else's work. There was no real quality nor price control. You could, in theory, upload horse armor and charge $15 for it. And this, of course, resulted in a community backlash. The community got just a bit pissed. What was free before was now getting hidden behind a paywall. The community got so pissed off, in fact, that Bethesda abandoned the project entirely. Or so everyone thought. Over a year after this kerfuffle, Bethesda released Fallout 4 with the promise that eventually you can install mods on the consoles as well. Something that had never been implemented for any game on consoles before. Now at launch you can install mods on PC through external sources. Then Bethesda officially implemented modding on PC through their own website, Bethesda.net, instead of using the Steam Workshop like they'd done before with Skyrim. You could, and can now still, do this by simply going over to the Mods tab from within the game's menu, logging into Bethesda.net and selecting the mod you wish to install. So modding your game was made extremely easy now. But with official Bethesda.net integration, of course, came more rules about what type of content was allowed. Then a bit later, this way of modding was also ported over to the Xbox, and a tiny bit later it was also ported over to the PlayStation 4, with some more restrictions due to the more restricted nature of consoles. Actually, a lot more restrictions for the PS4 users. Mods on that console are basically neutered. But modding on consoles was there. Then Bethesda also implemented this integrated way of modding for all platforms to the Skyrim Special Edition, so the console users could now finally enjoy Skyrim on the next-gen consoles with more frames, and more importantly, mods. Which brings us to now, E3 2017. Bethesda announced the Creation Club. This is a platform where you can download the latest and best mods for Fallout 4 and Skyrim with Bethesda credits. Yes, you can now use official Bethesda coins to acquire your favorite new mods. Now this is not exactly the same as the whole paid modding ordeal back in 2015 on the Steam Workshop. First and foremost, not just anyone can upload mods. To upload them, you have to be accepted as a creator, as they call it. Bethesda says they are working hand in hand with these creators to ensure integration without any conflicts. Achievements will also remain enabled and only new mods can be added to the platform. So people cannot simply upload their past work, that will all remain free. So all of this is a bit more moderated and official than the workshop shitshow we saw last time. As a creator, you also have to supply Bethesda with documentation of your new mod. The mod will go through a full quality assurance cycle, and of course the creators are compensated for their work. By how much is still a gigantic mystery though. So are these paid mods? Well, yes. Or no, but I mean you have to pay for the mods, so therefore they're paid mods, right? Okay, this Bethesda FAQ doesn't make any fucking sense. So at this point it's important to take 3 steps back and look at what Bethesda is actually doing. For the last few years, Bethesda has clearly been working towards making modding more and more accessible for their games on all platforms, and they're using this accessible modding as a unique selling point for their games, while also trying to profit directly from these mods. That much is clear. Now, is this the embodiment of corporate greed and pure evil? Well, I might have to disappoint you and say maybe not necessarily. If Bethesda is serious about working hand in hand with mod makers to really get amazing top quality content out there on the table, content that is thoroughly tested, of which you can be assured that it does not conflict with anything, content that is DLC worthy. So think of high detail weapons with custom sounds and animations, think of hour-long quest mods with excellent voiceovers, shit that is actually good. Putting that out there with a small price tag so that Bethesda, and more importantly, the mod authors can be compensated for the sheer amount of hours put into the creation of that mod, well, maybe that is not pure evil. The problem, however, is that it looks like Bethesda is simply trying to get an easy profit here. Instead of something amazing like the things I mentioned before, they showed off fucking mudcrab armor for 150 Bethesda coins. So even if their intentions are not pure evil, they're really not going about it in a great way with releasing this shitty, frankly patronizing video. The way they're putting it out now pretty much sounds like,
That you! Yeah, you, Billy, you fucking idiot. You know those cool toys you had before? Well, we're gonna take those and make you pay for them now, but it's gonna be better. Just trust us, okay? We're Bethesda. We made a really cool cartoon trailer. It's gonna be great. Community club, hub, creation hub. Just buy Bethesda coins, okay?
I mean, that's pretty much what it sounds like. Now, I personally don't really care too much about Bethesda's profit margins. I imagine they're doing quite well right now, actually. I do want to dive into compensating mod makers for their hard work. The way it's set up now is that mod makers put their content out there for free, and some of these mods take weeks, if not months of hard work from multiple people sometimes to complete. And currently, there's no direct way for mod makers to be compensated for all that work. Bethesda, on the other hand, sells more copies of their games by advertising modding as being part of their games. And YouTube content creators, such as myself, make videos showcasing these mods and they get ad revenue. But the actual mod makers are pretty much left out in the cold, which is a tiny bit unfair. I might say that mod makers have to make these mods out of the goodness of their hearts, because it's gotta be a passion project. But the sad reality of life is that you can justify a lot better spending your limited free time on something if it contributes towards paying for your rent. If mod makers could make money by making mods, they're gonna be more productive and the quality bars of those mods are probably gonna be raised. So this whole paid mods ordeal is a solution to get mod makers out of the somewhat unfair position they are currently in. But since it's very much unclear as to what cut Bethesda is going to take, it doesn't really seem like a good solution. It also doesn't really seem like Bethesda is doing this creation club thing for the sake of the mod makers. Now what I think is a far better solution is to keep modding free and set up a visible, highly encouraged donation button whenever you download a mod, and to inform players that use mods that a lot of hard work goes into the creation of said mods. Additionally, a Patreon-like system could be set up for mod makers and integrated into the creation club. Honestly, the more I say that, the more it's starting to sound like some type of Christian Boy Scout group. It's really weird. Anyways, lots of things are possible. Arma 3, another game that I like and play a lot of, also thrives on community-made mods. Now, what the developers of that game have done to encourage modding, which is actually a key selling point of that game, but they've held prize competitions for mod makers. Now, I must also say that this game only sold a fraction of the copies that Fallout 4 sold, but this prize competition was no chump change. The first place for the best total modification got 200,000 euros. And that could buy you at least 50 sets of fucking crab armor. So in conclusion, Bethesda has been working towards integrating modding into everything, and they are now trying to profit off of it directly. Now, are they doing this for the betterment of mod makers and mods? It seems kinda doubtful. Do mod makers deserve to be compensated for their hard work? Yes. And is placing mods behind a Bethesda coin paywall the best way to go about this? I personally don't think so. But I mean, what the fuck do I know? I'm just some idiot that makes Fallout 4 videos on the internet about cats blowing up. And on that note, I'll end this video. So yeah, speaking of being compensated for your hard work, remember to leave a like on this video if you did enjoy this video. That's very important. And then this is also going to be the slot where I talk about my Patreon. So I've mentioned this before in that other video, which I'll probably forget the link here, but lately the YouTube ad money train has really taken a nosedive. It's become the YouTube TBM. But anyways, in all seriousness, the YouTube ad revenue has taken somewhat of a nosedive, so I've set up the Patreon page, which I've talked about before, so if you wish to support me on Patreon, link will be in the description. It will all be highly appreciated. Still trying to figure out the reward system, but I think I got a few things in place, so you'll get something special if you help me out. Aside from, you know, feeling really good about yourself, that too. But on that note, I'll truly end this video now.